Hello, good people. I decided I'm just gonna make a video and I'll try to post it up to Facebook versus going live because I got stuff to say. So, because I said I was going to start holding things accountable, I have been doing some reading. I've been a member of the American Dairy Goat Association since 2017. This is my very first guidebook. I've read this thing cover to cover, and I've used certain areas of it much more than others. Read it cover to cover, at least once. And refer to it because this is the guide of the American Dairy Goat Association, but it's from 2017. So about 2 weeks ago, I said, send me the newest guidebook. I just got the 2021 guidebook. I was particularly interested in a couple of things. Sorry, I'm making a cup of coffee. Yummy, yummy. So I asked for this, and I've earmarked a couple of sections because I wanted to just make sure in my head I had the organizational structure correct. I wanted to make sure that I did, but first, let me read you the purpose of the American Dairy Goat Association. The purpose of the association, the purposes of this organization, I'm going to read it verbatim, are A, maintaining herd books and issuing certificates of registration and recordation of dairy goats. B, supervising and publishing official milk production records of dairy goats and issuing certificates of production. And C, promotion and regulation of matters pertaining to the history, publicity, breeding, exhibition, and improvement of dairy goats. That is the purpose of the American Dairy Goat Association. And all things fall under those. So I wanted to make sure that I had that right, because often and very recently I was told we're just a registry. No. Okay. Then I wanted to move forward just a little bit and look at the role of the board of directors, the individuals who we elect to represent us and voice our concerns and get our questions answered and hopefully improve the organization. And it says on page 9 of the 2021, it says the board of directors shall have the power and authority to make, amend, repeal, and enforce rules and regulations not contrary to law, their certificate of incorporation, or this Constitution as they may deem expedient concerning the conduct, management, and activities of the association. All, however, are subject to revisions or amendments by the members under the procedures as follows. And then it goes into how one is to change the rules, guidelines, and constitution of the association. So it's pretty lengthy, and it talks about that process. Okay? So that is the board of directors. So the board of directors, these elected officials, not to exceed 40, not unlike Congress. So you elect your senator and your congressman, and they represent you as a citizen. Well, it's sort of the same model, okay? I might know a little something about that, right? And there are a number of directors assigned to different areas based on population and that type of thing. So there's that. Board of directors. Sounds like they're in charge, right? Sounds like they're in charge. And it goes on to talk about what an officer is. So an officer of the association, so you got your board of director and then you have officers. The officers of the association shall supervise the business of the association as ordered by the board of directors in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws. And then it goes to say, first, let me see. The officers of the association shall be the president, first vice president, second vice president, secretary treasurer, and such other officers as may be authorized from time to time by the board of directors. Board of directors. Officers. Officers are such people as the committees and things of that nature. So there's a little earmark that I have here about that. I went on through this thing, went to the executive committee. The executive committee shall consist of the president, first vice president, second vice president, immediate past president. If a director, let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. If a director, so they have to be a director. Sorry, need to read the punctuations correctly. And the board of directors may elect to the executive committee. So the board of directors elects the executive committee. The board of directors elects the executive committee. Everybody still following me? Board of directors, executive committee. As written right here and as I'm reading it. So they are officers. Okay, we got all that. We're down to all that. We're tracking good. We're doing great, right? The executive committee. I did have something earmarked here that talked briefly about what the executive committee's role is. But basically, it does outline what the president is supposed to do. It's pretty lengthy about what the president's responsibilities are. In a nutshell, the president has to continually report to the board of directors and that type of thing. Let's see, here we go. The officers of the association shall be elected at the annual directors meeting by the directors present. Board of directors elects the executive committee. Board of directors elects the executive committee. You guys still tracking with me? Board of directors, executive committee. By majority, blah, 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 you know, and all that usual stuff, right? The legalese. It is the first order of new business. Elect an executive committee. Goes on to talk about what the executive committee is supposed to do. And the executive committee, right here in section 5, here it is. Okay, it's not huge. It's like 5 bullet points about the executive committee. And it says the executive committee shall have the authority to hire professional assistants for the secretary or treasurer for preparation of minutes of the annual directors meeting. That's one authority delegated to them. The executive committee in office at the beginning of the annual meeting shall be paid for their room expenses for the entirety of the meeting, the annual meeting. They set the vacation schedule of the secretary and treasurer. They give a detailed report to the board on all actions of the executive committee at the annual meeting of the board of directors. They have an annual discretionary fund. That's nice. And they authorize the use of stationery. And they have the authority to hire legal counsel to defend the actions, blah, 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 blah. And it's in addition to the discretionary amount. That's what the executive committee can do. And then there's a lot of things that the president has to do that's in front of that. But, you know, or maybe it's behind it. It's in here somewhere. I had it earmarked, but maybe I moved it. But the president has some pretty specific things that the president is supposed to do, all of which report back to the board of directors. The president reports to the board of directors. Still tracking with me, right? What I keep hearing is the executive committee is running this organization and telling the board of directors, or at least there's some mindset. And I got myself confused, which is why I said, give me that 2021, because I want to make sure I got this right before I say anything. The board of directors is the hierarchy of this organization. Now, I don't know anything about chain of command. I was only a police officer for 20 years. I understand the chain of command. And I understand that there's a head honcho. And the buck stops there, I guess. But I do understand the chain of command. And it's right here. The chain of command. Board of directors. Executive committee. All of those people elected by us, the members, who elect this person, who then appoint these people in the middle to serve us, the members. I also looked in here to see if the new positions were in here, whether or not the new, a couple of the new appointed high-level managers positions were in here. They're not, and that's okay. But they're not officers, because that's not there. So they're not officers. They're hired people who serve the members and the directors. Yeah, that's what they do. So we read that. But if there's been some amendment to this and some constitution, there could be. It could be that there's some postal ballot out there that took the executive committee and put it over top of the board of directors that I haven't seen yet. I have not gone online and sifted through the board minutes. Haven't done that yet. Maybe I need to. But it's not in here. Which says to me, board of directors, those elected officials, need to be starting to hold some people accountable and demanding some answers, because I've seen many times a director, I can't get the answers. Why not? Who is not giving you the answers you need to serve your members? Why not? Who is it? And who gave them the authority to not serve you as a hired employee? And then my last thing, which I must have overlooked this, because this is a tasty nugget of information. It's on page 40, and it falls under 4-H, youth, and FFA projects. But there's an ADGA Research Foundation. And it was developed in 1976. And it's outlined here who the foundation is run by. It has its own account. It's a nonprofit. And let's see. It is for the purpose of promoting and directing research and educational activities concerning dairy goats. Get out! Get out! We're not just a registry. That is all. That is all I have. I will continue to educate myself further to ensure that I am speaking with some level of knowledge about things. But I am encouraging everyone, get your new guidebook and read it. And if you see that I'm wrong, I'm happy to, if I'm not reading this correctly, please feel free to correct me. Please. I'm not right all the time. In fact, I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot, but I don't think I'm wrong about this one. I don't think I'm wrong about this one. So there you go. And a word about politics. So like, I understand elected officials and all that kind of stuff, and there's some politics. Guys, I wrote the book on politics, or I can write the book on politics. This is a dairy goat association. This ain't Capitol Hill. We're talking about registering goats. We're talking about promoting goats. We're trying to do research on goats. We're trying to establish and educate people. Get some sort of return for our hard work out there with these animals. Check the politics at the door. Whatever politics there are in an association like this. Check them. Let's get down to the mission that I read in the beginning and start holding some people accountable. That's all I got. I'm going to read on after this cup of coffee. Bye.